All right. You ready? You're not even ready for this. You're not even ready for this. So cool. Just showed up today. Big no thanks to DHL. You delivered it 3 houses down. Thank you to Updates, though. All right, check this out. Flip it. All right, I'm going to take a peek at this. I'm going to call this the Artist Edition of Marc Silvestri's Batman and Joker Deadly Duo. All black and white. Pretty cool binding. Just showed up today. Ordered this sucker many moons ago. Months and months ago. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a peek at this. Yeah, binding is cool. I did already kind of take a peek through it. Unfortunately, in the gallery section, it does not include all variants like the traditional hardcover you can get of this. So, yeah, let's take a peek. I'm going to be kind of careful with this. I don't want to crack the spine too much. I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes, so we'll be skipping some pages here. I'll do a more thorough live stream of this with Mr. Andy Perez sometime soon in the future. So anyways, yeah, this is super cool. Been looking forward to this. Sent some DMs asking Mark, asking Jim, Mr. Jim Lee. I even asked Mark's wife. I was like, this thing's got to get an artist edition of some sort. First of all right, check this. So this is a, oh hell, what is it? It's larger than a standard comic. What is it here? Yeah, so print size, it's about 7.5 by 11.5. So not quite 8.5 by 11. This is straight up printed scans, I'm assuming, by Mark. The reason I say that is you can see a lot of the grayscale pencil intertwined with a lot of the different tones of ink used. So some of the ink looks a little more on the cooler side. Some of it looks more true black. So yeah, super interesting to see that. Yeah, in the other trade, they were using, for this right here, they would use the cover or the variant or something along those lines. So, but yeah, this is probably my favorite purchase in the last 10 years, easily. It's up there for sure. So yeah, and it does include the complete miniseries, DC Black Label, written and drawn by Marc Silvestri. Woo, this is cool. I literally just got this too, guys, by the way. I cracked it open and wanted to make sure. I was a little concerned because I did notice that there are some variant editions out there that use the black and white cover on some of the collected editions. And so I was a little concerned because of that, but damn, I am stoked. This is awesome. And again, like I said, I'm gonna be skipping some pages. Yeah, and you get to progressively, you get to see Mark kind of, he leans real heavy the first 2 books into that Franklin Booth style, and then especially with the rendering here, it's very Bernie Wrightson-esque, a little more of a deadline versus a feathering approach. Still super cool. Yeah, and I try to employ a lot of this in my work now with using inks more like a pencil versus a refining method. I think those days are kind of gone, to be quite honest. It's like if you can find the balance between a really nice refined style with a little bit of you know, some sketchy, some wow factor in there, with showing a little bit of not being afraid to show a little bit of the underdrawing, let some of that shine through as well. Developmentally, I think it's just a lot more attractive to a lot of people. Yeah, it's crazy too. Like right here, you can see where he brought in the whiteout and knocked out a lot of the lines, but it still kept some of the line art on Joker's nose right here. Can't really, I guess you can kind of see it right there. So yeah, I'm just going to call this a true artist edition at this point. I mean, it is complete. Yeah, if you seek this out, just so you know, it's in French, right? So if you're French Canadian, you probably appreciate it. Myself, as a born and bred American with tiny bit fluency in Spanish, I can understand a little bit of it. Not a whole lot. Yeah, see right here, this is where they could have used some of those variants. You know, Mark was doing the black and white variant covers, and this is definitely a spot where they could have used those. Damn, this is so cool. It's so cool to see, and not to knock the colors. The coloring in this miniseries was amazing. I think any artist would be blessed to have that colorist working on their work. But yeah, very Mignola-esque panel right there. So cool. Alright, and I am skipping a few here, guys, just so you know. Yeah, it's really interesting. There are areas where Mark actually comes in and he actually uses the pencil, kind of like his convention sketch covers and stuff, where he'll actually kind of hit it up a little bit with the gray. They left that in. That's completely in here. So yeah, I am going to assume that these were the actual files used for this, that were supplied to the colorist, and more than likely unaltered. More than likely no level control or anything. Like the line art here was definitely a different kind of a fine liner versus the outlines, which are very dark. It's almost like a 70% gray on the rendering on Joker's face right here with all that hatching. Which you can barely see in the video, but it's there, and it goes across, 3/4 of his forehead. What happens in the coloring process is, and you can get away with this pretty easily, you don't need 100% black lines to color and have the lines visible as well. When you drop those colors underneath of a line, like a dark line, it can be like a 50% black line set to multiply. The line it just instantly becomes darker. The darker the base color or the flats below it, that line also becomes darker. It absorbs some of the dark tint, the tint of whatever color is below it. So, if you have a dark blue underneath of all this here, I mean, it might really just sort of blend because, these lines are pretty dark, and a lot of the lighter gray lines that he adds in here for the shading on the cheekbones and stuff, and the eyeballs here are very, very light. It looks like maybe like a disposable Copic liner or something was used. But once you drop those colors underneath, it really it amps up the darkness of those lines underneath, since they are set to multiply and every pixel is affected, because it also assumes the color behind it as part of that pixel in the display, and also that means in print. Damn, this is cool. Yeah, I think the only thing that would have made this a more complete artist edition is obviously if it was to scale, an 11 by 17 page, and then obviously minus any text whatsoever. And here we go. Like you can see even here, like the inks on this page, the borders are very, very black, but then you get closer to some of the rendering and it's like a completely different ink used. Batman face here as well. Very, very dark. You get to the face and it's really, I would almost say like a 70% black. It's not, it almost looks like pencil in a way. It's a cool face shot. But yeah, so let's see here. Skip some of this. Get to the. We're towards the back. This has been out plenty of time. No spoilers alert. If you're new to this, I highly suggest you pick up the collected edition at the very least. It's really an amazing miniseries for, you know, especially for today. Really cool alternate universe kind of version of Batman, and I can see possibly them expanding on it. He just has a different, it's sort of like a mixture of some of the classical elements, especially with Joker, but he also introduces like a new version of Harley Quinn, and but uses some other stuff too, like aged up Robin, who's Batwing and stuff like that. But then things like this where the tech is very, very fashion forward. So I think this entire thing was just Mark drawing what's comfortable to Mark and forming a story around it. This is an awesome splash right here. Yep. So yep, I can't say enough nice things about this. I really wish my camera would pick this up better, but there's a lot of things here too. You can see where he redrew the mouth and used whiteout and eraser, and there's areas where he, I'm assuming just kind of didn't really erase it completely. Like you can see like the character was actually placed further over, and some of the ghost lines that he kind of left in there. But that's part of the experience, you know, looking at this, especially original artwork, you know, with so much digital art out there. With original art, you get to see all of the hiccups and the fumbles that even professionals like Mark or, you know, Jim Lee possesses on their OA. But yeah, all in all, man, this is fantastic. Yeah, okay, I think we reached about the halfway point through here. I love this panel right here. I think Mark had posted this panel on his Instagram at some point. Yeah, great shots. By this point here, he kind of he kept a lot of the Franklin Booth direction, but I feel like he kind of reverted a little bit back towards his mainstream standard approach of drawing comics with the rendering and all that. He opened stuff up a lot more. Like I feel like if this page was drawn earlier in the series, this shirt here would have been completely rendered out. He'd probably been thrown in, you know, 60-40 in the grayscale behind him, in really just parallel lines and some of that zigzaggy stuff that goes on between. Yeah, this is really incredible. Maybe I'll do a comparative video on this. There's definitely stuff in here, like a lot of where Mark was doing a lot of the spotting of the black areas. In the books, it appears to be a full spotted black, and it in fact is not. A lot of use of like a 0.8 fine liner or even like a brush pen to hit big big areas quickly. Very reminiscent, you know, in a way. Some of this here, it feels very much like that. Who was it? That John Buscema, Savage Sword of Conan. There's a few issues there where they really, really lean into that linear art approach with, you know, there's no color present, so we're going to render the hell out of this. Everything had a grayscale to it. Yeah, this is awesome. It would still be nice, and I would 110% be in if there ever is a artist edition, Marc Silvestri artist edition that comes out. Several of them actually. I would really like to see a lot of his work around, you know, the Uncanny X-Men days, even up through you know, year 1, 2, and 3 of Image thrown in there as well. But this series here, hopefully he still has all the pages and covers and all that, and maybe they can make that happen as well. With no text, full-sized, and, you know, not that this, like I said, this here, these don't feel adjusted to me. These feel like they were, like, thrown on an Epson scanner, scanned. This ink here, I mean, there's even a little bit of like, I would almost say like a reddish hue to it versus like a solid, cool gray black. So some of the lines, you know, he was definitely messing around with different pens in here, and you can probably see it there. Look at the logo and then look at the ink used on the head. So, you know, that's another thing too in comics, right? Some of these originals, they don't age very well because of the materials used, like, there are some of those Moon Knight pages by Platt where there was some Sharpie marker used. And if you see those originals, you know, you look them up, Comic Art Fans, wherever, you're going to see a lot of that ink turn red or purple, or some of the whiteout kind of pull a yellowish color from it. And it's really cool to see, but it's like, you know, after 50 years, who knows? Who knows what that page is going to look like? So it's one thing you got to be a little mindful about that when you're choosing supplies. I love this double pager so much. So cool. Yeah, and I almost would say I hope Mark does more with this stuff, but like maybe a series that focuses on the rogue villains, because we didn't really get that in this. You got Joker, Harley, and then a solid story around the regular core characters. But really, you know, with Batman and even like Spider-Man books, it's all about the villains. Like, let's be real, you know. Here's the gallery here. So you get the line art scan, and I know this looks terrible on the screen. This actually looks fantastic, better than any high-res scan I've seen online so far of this piece. So you get some of the covers. I think these are all standard covers. So issue 1. Yeah, you got 2, 3. You get to see, I mean, even Mark wrote up here. He wrote the issue number and cover and all that up there, so you know what it is. Let's see, we got issue 4 and 5. This was also used for a deluxe collected of, I think, the first 2 or 3 books. And then they had a black and white version too, which had black and white line art in it, which is kind of interesting. No one talks about that. So I don't know how rare or common it is. I might have to go back to my shop and grab it, because they had a couple copies of it left in their back issue bins. So yeah, and then issue 6 and 7. Andy and I would have to arm wrestle for ownership of this piece, because I think we both love this piece pretty much the same. Yep. And then there's that there. It's the end of the book. Alright, so there we go. Marc Silvestri Artist Edition, Black Label, Collected Edition, black and white. I don't even know what to call it. Noir. So yeah, enjoy. Seek it out. Thanks.